What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here, talking about a brand new release from Hugo Boss. Now it does seem like every time you turn around, Hugo Boss is releasing a new Boss bottled fragrance, and yes, today that's what we're talking about is Hugo Boss Bottled Absolu. Is this just a marriage of convenience? Is it just yet another release that is very similar to the previous Boss bottled? And is it something you should even be interested in or want to know about? Well, we've got that in a bit more depth in terms of conversation, that and more coming right after this. Welcome back everyone to today's video, which is mostly a first impressions video of Hugo Boss Bottled Absolu. Now, I'm a big fan of Hugo Boss Bottled, I'll be the first to tell you, but with this new release, I do have to kind of wonder where it's all headed, what it all means, why are we here? Because Hugo Boss has really been releasing a ton of, it's like they had a bunch of Boss Bottled fragrances in the queue and they just hit the switch and now they're all being pumped out one after the other. And it makes you wonder, where are we headed? What's the end result? I feel like that this is the end result, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. That doesn't mean this is the last Boss bottled. I'll explain what I mean in a bit more detail, but first, let's take a quick look at the presentation. This Hugo Boss bottled box is all golden. The front has the dark brown outline of the bottle. In the middle of the dark outline, vertical from the bottom up, it says Boss in embossed gold lettering. Below that, Bottled Absolu Parfum Intense. This is a 100 ml bottle or 3.3 fluid ounces. The top of the box simply says Boss. The sides of the box, again, that stripe. On the left side, however, there is a small QR code on the bottom left. The back of the box features top, heart, and base notes with the ingredients listing, boss.com, and some address information. The bottom of the box features a UPC, a QR code, some other stickers, and a batch code of 4185. This unique Boss Bottled fragrance bottle is rooted in richness with a warm yet bright amber base, a nod to the nobility of the precious and tempting parfum within. A radiant double lacquered finish and shiny golden cap complete the exquisite presentation of this woody perfume for men, which complements the positive mindset of every boss. On the bottom of the bottle is an adhesive sticker with the batch code, concentration, and additional information. Admittedly, I've long been a fan of the Hugo Boss bottled presentation. I really like the simplicity of the look. This is, again, simplicity and elegance, and with each additional bottle that comes out, they've made these small improvements that make it just look really cool. And the improvements in this particular one is at the base of the bottle, what they call a double lacquered layer with an amber base. It's like a darker lacquered epoxy amber look that just looks fantastic at the base. It's like a very tiny gradient, doesn't go very far. It stops about right here, and then the color is pretty much solid from here up. And then the golden cap with, of course, the dark brown and the golden letters Boss on the top of the cap. So while you definitely can see the family resemblance of the other Boss bottles, this does have some unique portions of the presentation, and you can definitely tell it apart, even sitting on the shelf. So now that we've touched on what it looks like, what about the notes that make up the fragrance? Hugo Boss Bottled Absolu's classification is that of a woody aromatic fragrance. Boss Bottled Absolu opens smoothly with a textured leather accord, featuring a roasted facet harmonized with invigorating incense essence. At the heart of the Boss perfume for men, enveloping patchouli essence and myrrh absolute elevate the vigor and splendor of this sophisticated scent. Warm cedarwood and fruity Divana essences at the base leave a lasting sillage and scent trail. Now online, they're only talking about 3 primary focal points. That's leather, the patchouli, and cedarwood. Here we have the actual breakdown of all of the notes. In the top, we've got leather and frankincense. The heart features a combination of myrrh absolute and patchouli, and then in the base, Divana and cedarwood. So really rich combination. So now we know what it looks like. We know the formula, the combination of notes that make up Boss Bottled Absolu. What does it smell like? Because it is part of the family of recent Boss Bottled releases. We're going back to Boss Bottled Parfum, Boss Bottled Elixir, and actually the original Boss Bottle Eau de Parfum, the release from a few years ago. Now, the fragrance was created through a collaboration of two perfumers who are excellent at what they do. That is Annick Minardo and Suzy Laheli. They actually got together a few years ago and made Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum, one of my favorites. The only negative about this that many people complained about is the performance. It's a little bit performance lacking, but it smells amazing. And so I am happy to say that the aroma of Boss Bottle Absolu is kind of a marriage of several Boss bottles. I'm going to put this down to show you what I mean. So if you were to take Boss Bottle EDP, Boss Bottle Parfum, and then Boss Bottle Elixir. Boss Bottle Absolu is basically a marriage of three fragrances, right? It's a combination of these three, and I'll explain why that's the case. It is, in a sense, kind of a marriage of convenience. First of all, it is a warm, spicy, intense fragrance with an underlying note of leather. In the open, you immediately get this infusion of incense and a light leather accord, a combination of that leather and incense, but it's enveloped with this whole roasted feel. It's like these notes have come through the fire, and on the other side, you smell leather and incense, but a bit of that roasted essence from their through the fire experience. Again, don't know how they did it, but the result is fantastic. From the open to the mid, the fragrance continues to get a bit darker, starts expressing that dark heart of Myrrh Absolute, that earthy, almost loamy patchouli, and that gives it kind of a golden feel and appeal. This fragrance very much feels like a UAE kind of release, slightly related to Oud Aromatic and Oud Saffron from Boss Bottle. Myrrh Absolute and patchouli combination smoldering in that whole roasted affair with the incense and leather. In this case, we've got this fruity Divana in the base combined with cedar wood. So you've got some interesting dynamics going on within that remind me of the fireworks in Boss Bottled EDP when you first spray this on. The best way I can describe this is the warm, golden, spicy appeal when you first spray this on is similar. It's similar in this fragrance, and that's why I feel like it's a marriage of these three fragrances together. So basically, you're getting the best of those three releases in this release, along with kind of that unique combination of Divana, cedarwood, and the resinous myrrh and incense in this. So in continuing discussing the aroma, it is a pretty powerful fragrance. It boasts being the most intense parfum version to date. This one is definitely outstanding in how it performs. Sillage trail that it leaves is very notable. I wore this for a while at home, and as soon as I walked in the room, my wife was like, wow, what are you wearing, and why are you wearing that now? And we were getting ready to go to the park, and it's hot outside. It definitely doesn't feel appropriate on a warm day, a summer day. So going into the kind of situation and weather that you would wear this, I'm going to set this down for a moment. Definitely want to wear this in cooler climes. As the temperature starts to cool and as we move towards, here we are in October and we're moving towards cooler weather, this is going to be a perfect fragrance. It's a perfect transitional fragrance. Even as it's born of resins, dark, rich, and electrifying notes, it is perfect for transition from warmer into cooler weather. It is also going to be a great date night fragrance. So there is that appeal to it. Definitely perfect for date nights, though be aware of the intensity of the fragrance. If you're going to be in close contact with someone, you don't want to spray 4 and 5 sprays of this on you. If you're going to be using it for date nights, just spray 1 or 2 sprays and that's it. And then you're perfect, then you're set. I feel like this has the same kind of versatility as Boss Bottled Elixir, Boss Bottled Parfum, because you can wear it on the cooler nights of summer. Nighttime wear in summer, as long as it's cool, is appropriate. I wouldn't wear this in any warm kind of weather at all. Of course, spring, cooler nights of spring, and then of course winter is when you want to wear it. This is a pretty powerful fragrance, so you don't have to worry about layering up. That intensity is definitely there in Absolu. I would actually submit that it's even more than any previous Boss Bottle release in this family thus far. So that begs the question, if it is a marriage of convenience, kind of born from these 3 particular fragrances, or it has the best components of these 3, if I own these 3, should I own this one? That's going to be completely up to you. I will say each of these fragrances have their own personality, and I feel like they each have their own place and position and environment in which they are best utilized and best worn. Do I feel like if you purchase this one, you don't need the other ones? No, I don't really feel that way, but I do feel like if you can't get your hands on any of the other Boss bottles and you're able to buy this one, you're pretty much getting the best of the bunch so far. That's pretty much what I'm feeling in my first impressions. Now, I'm gonna give some allowance for me to be wrong as I do a full review of this later on, as I've had an opportunity to wear it and put it through its paces. I may be changing my mind on that, but it really feels straight out of the bottle, and wearing it for a day or so, at least for now, I feel like this is the best Boss Bottled so far in the rich resinous incense winter fragrance territory. Well guys, that's pretty much it for my first impressions. That's a wrap in what I think of this fragrance so far. But what about you? Please let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are if you've had an opportunity to try a sample or to wear this for a day or so. You went to the counter at your local retail store and sprayed a bunch on and then went off. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know. Let us know down below. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. And as always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.